Okay, so good evening, friends. Hi. Hope you would have enjoyed my last video. In my last video, I discussed about little bit about aerodynamics, and especially I talked about buoyancy and Archimedes principle. Even mathematically, also I proved there. And regarding other aspects of aerodynamics, let us have a clear understanding of aerodynamics and its history. So that's why today I am going to talk about history of aerodynamics, and then from next video onwards we will be going for complete explanation of modern aerodynamics. So in this video especially I have brought history of aerodynamics, how the development in aerodynamics has taken place from 18th century to you can say now it is 21st century. Okay, so from scratch to the modern aircraft which we do have today, this development have taken place from 18th century onwards, and who were the persons involved in you can say contributing in a major manner more for aerodynamics, since from Sir Isaac Newton. So those things we will have a discussion today. Okay, right. Okay, so let us have a discussion, as I told, that on history of aerodynamics. So you all are aware, myself Professor Sanjay Singh from Vinayaka Missions Krupananda Variyar Engineering College, Salem. So some of the sketches and all, figures and all I have utilized. So I properly acknowledge uh, the use of those pictures, old pictures from this book, that is Introduction to Aerodynamics of Flight, written by Theodore A. Talai, Langley Research Center, National Aeronautics and Space Administration, Washington, D.C., 1975. So some sketches and all I have taken for reference so that I can make the understanding in proper manner. So coming back to the aerodynamics, that is history, and as I have already discussed with you earlier also, so actually aerodynamics is a Greek word, we can say it is a Greek word consisting of aero means air and dynamics means in motion. So the same Greek word aero means when the air is in motion, and especially the interaction between any type of solid object and air is called actually aerodynamics. So there will be compulsorily an interaction, just not that the air is moving and that will be called as aerodynamics, when there will be an interaction. So interaction between, or you can say interaction of moving air with a solid object. Interaction of moving air with a solid object. So then only the action of lift will be taking place. So this aerodynamics actually you can say subfield aerodynamics, actually it is more or less related to fluid mechanics and gas dynamics. Okay, fluid mechanics and gas dynamics. So most of the concepts what we have studied or we are studying in fluid mechanics and gas dynamics are also utilized. So gas dynamics actually it deals with the study of all type of gases, all gases, whereas in aerodynamics we discuss only about air. So in gas dynamics it is not limited to air only, it is dealing with all type of gases. Okay, so we all are aware we all have studied in Ramayana Puspak Viman. Okay, so this Pushpak Viman, we all have heard of it, which was with Ravana. Okay, so Puspak Vimana. We have reference of this Puspak Vimana in our holy book, the Ramayana. Okay, so it was a purely humans' desire to copy birds. By seeing the birds, some type of you can say desire developed in the human beings, and they also thought that if we could fly in air, then certainly it would be giving much more pleasure, or some different things will happen. So that desire actually makes them to think something, and this desire is the you can say main motivational force, which has led to development of aerodynamics to the extent what we do have. Greek philosophers in olden days, they were the first one who actually asked that what actually is air. They put a question, what actually is air, and if air is moving, whether air is having weight, whether air can create any type of pressure. So this type of questions was raised by Greek philosophers. So the credit goes to these Greek philosophers who raised a question that whether air is having any type of weight, whether air can create any type of pressure, or it can create any type of force. And of course, now we see that when the air is moving over any type of solid object, as I told, it is creating some type of force, creating some type of pressure. That already I have discussed about buoyancy. There you would have already understood that what type of pressure it is creating, okay, on the body. Right. Again, going back, so Aristotle was the scientist, you can say, who explained that air is having weight. So air is having weight, having mass, and it can create some type of pressure, was discussed by Aristotle. Then coming to Archimedes' principle, in detail we have already discussed. So Archimedes' principle, so it was you can say accidental development, accidental discovery by Archimedes, where he jumped into the swimming pool, or you can say in a tank where water was there, he jumped into it and water came out from that tank. Then he came to know that certainly some type of force is acting. The moment I jumped, water has also created some type of force, and same amount of water which I have displaced, which Archimedes has displaced due to his weight, the same amount of water has come out from the tank. Okay, and that led to you can say the Archimedes principle, or buoyancy, so buoyant force. That was the accidental discovery, and he immediately started shouting, Eureka, Eureka, Eureka. Means magical, something magic, he has got it. Okay. So Archimedes principle actually explains about law of floating bodies, and the law of floating bodies, what I have already told, that there will be a buoyant force on a body in a fluid, and this buoyant force or pressure, which will be equal to the fluid displaced by the body. So if a body is floating on the fluid level, okay, it means the pressure which is acting upward, that is called buoyant force, or the pressure which is acting due to this fluid, and the fluid which is being displaced by the weight of the body, that is mg, okay, if both are equal, then only the body will be floating. If any one will be higher or lower, then there will be a disbalancing of force, and that is called buoyant force. The upward force experienced by the body due to the fluid is called buoyant force. Similarly, another philosophers, Galileo, Roger Bacon and Pascal, they you can say they found that, and they have theorized, given the theory that air is a gas. Air is also comprising of mixture of gases. So as we are already aware, air consists of oxygen, nitrogen, okay, and even 1% of another gases also, different gases. Mostly it will be consisting of oxygen and nitrogen. Similarly, air is also compressible. It is compressible. Okay, then pressure decreases with altitude. These developments, these findings, they found Pascal. So Pascal found that pressure is decreasing with altitude. The moment increase in altitude takes place, pressure decreases. That's why when we go to any type of you can say hill stations and all, when we are climbing to a hill, very soon we feel very much tiredness, because the oxygen pressure available outside, it is getting reduced and our body is starving of oxygen. Okay, so in that case our body feels tiredness. So you can say that who are staying in hills and all, they should not go for much more hard work for a longer stretch of time. In between they must have they must take rest, right? Okay, then air is compressible, that was said by air, this is Roger Bacon, and air is a gas, which was said by Galileo. Okay, now around 1500, Leonardo da Vinci, he made many designs and sketches. He did not go for creating of practical wings and all, but it was found that he designs, his sketches were found later on, and he designed many type of wings, and tried to explain with the help of his designs that how the wing movement will be experiencing some type of force when it is moving in air. Okay, so with respect to air, how the wing will be acting. So these all things were discovered later on with the help of his designs and sketches, and thereby he wanted to explain that how lift can be generated with those special type of wing. So he has designed actually different types of wings. Similarly, he designed even ornithopters. Ornithopters are what? Means flying with the help of wing. That is called ornithopters. Just like copying the bird. Okay. Even he has designed, his sketches are clearly showing the designs of helicopter and parachute also. Okay, right. Similarly, first flying machine, that is lighter than air, hot air balloon. At that time, people they went for hot air balloon. It means it is lighter than. So it comes under the category of lighter than air. So aerodynamics actually, or any type of flying machines, we study under two categories. One is lighter than air and heavier than air. Lighter than air, all hot air balloons and all, it is coming under the lighter than air. Okay. Similarly, parachute, it is lighter than air. But when we talk about heavier than air, so it is all the aircrafts which we see now, aeroplanes which we see now. So these all aircrafts and aeroplanes are heavier than air. But due to some of its mechanism, due to use of some of the principles of science and engineering, these machines are in a position to fly. Okay. So in 1783, from France, two Montgolfier brothers, they conducted first human flight. They went for first human flight using hot air balloon. Okay. So that hot air balloons were used first time in 1783, first successful human flight. The disadvantage of that flight was it was depending purely on the wind speed, on the direction of wind. Directional control could not be provided. Okay, so the directional mechanism could not be developed, and the human flight which went with the hot air balloon, it was purely in the hand of wind. Okay, so that was the disadvantageous point. So directional flight could not be achieved. We can see some of the designs of Leonardo da Vinci. So ornithopter means using wings. Okay, so these are the designs and sketches made by Leonardo da Vinci. Similarly, he designed helicopter also. We are flying now helicopters. Similarly, parachute. So all these things we are using. Ornithopters, generally it is not used, only for toy models and all, sometimes it will be used. But till now ornithopters are not used in, you can say, much more advanced manner. Ornithopter makes a machine to fly with the help of wing, and the wing will be moving just like birds. So with that much faster speed, till now the wings are not moving, though some of the designs are there, some of the aircrafts are there where we can change the shape of the wing by giving slight movement to it, but not like flapping wings. So like flapping wings, till now no aircrafts are designed till now, ornithopters. So it is mostly limited to we can say in the designs. And small toys, flying toys are there, small birds are there. There we are using this ornithopter. Similarly, Montgolfier balloons, which was made first successful human flight, first successful human flight, and as we have discussed, it was non-directional by Montgolfier brothers. Yes, of course, though you can say Sir Isaac Newton was the first given theory of air resistance. It means drag. Okay, so even some people, they call even Sir Isaac Newton also as father of aerodynamics. But father of modern aerodynamics is Sir George Cayley. Sir George Cayley came as father of modern aerodynamics and given heavier than air aircraft. So heavier than flight, air flight. So this is heavier due to heavier than air flight. Sir George Cayley is known as father of modern aerodynamics. So he explained all the basic forces on a wing leading to that is called lift, then drag, weight and thrust. Sir George Cayley explained the angle of attack, use of angle of attack and use of curved surfaces for more flight. So angle of attack, actually what we see, the wings are designed in a specific design that is called airfoil surface. So this is called airfoil or aerofoil. Aerofoil. So this aerofoil surface is having more curved surface over at the top, and bottom surface is not very flat but limited to flat, you can say, similar to flat. And you can say the line which is joining, the straight line which is joining, this is called leading edge and this is called trailing edge. This is the shape of the wing, okay, aerofoil, and the motion of air is in this way. So the air is moving at the top of the surface also and the bottom surface also. So this movement of air is being explained with the help of Bernoulli's principle. And due to this movement of air over the surface and under the surface, the pressure distribution will be taking place over the surface and under the surface, and what we will be getting? We will be getting high pressure under the surface and low pressure over the surface, due to which there will be a lift force generated. So we can say that there will be a lift force generated. So the lift force will be acting upward and its weight, the weight of the body will be making it to go downwards. The weight will be acting downwards, lift will be acting upwards, and in the front, so this will be thrust force and here it is drag. So drag force will try to resist, or you can say it will be just acting opposite to the thrust, and it is occurring only due to the air resistance. So these are the four forces were explained by Sir George Cayley. Angle of attack. Angle of attack is the angle, you can say this line is called chord. Actually, we will be having a clear explanation of all these terms in my next video, when I will be talking about that how lift is generated. So here completely I am not going to talk about that how lift is generated. So this technical terms, angle of attack and all more, I am not going to discuss here. But as the term has come here, I will say that angle of attack is the angle between chord and, you can say, the tangential direction of the air. So this will be called the angle of attack. Angle of attack is the angle between the direction of relative direction of air and chord line of the wing surface or aerofoil surface. So you can say angle between relative motion of air and chord line of the aerofoil surface. So that is called angle of attack. Angle of attack. Similarly, use of curved surfaces for more lift. So aerofoil, that's why it is named as aerofoil surfaces. He also designed a glider with a wing and tail and went for successful flights. Similarly, at that time even powered flights were also tried, and in some of the flights success also they got. So that is called powered flight. It is called powered powered flight in the sense that engines were used to develop power and to fly at high speed. Similarly, at the end of 19th century, Otto Lilienthal came forward and he conducted 2000 successful flights in his own glider, and unfortunately he crashed to death in 1896, and he proved heavier than air flight. There was also a Greek mythology that Daedalus, who was a craftsman, master craftsman, and his son Icarus, who were kept in captivity by King Minos, okay, on an island. The king wanted him to make, because he was a craftsman, so wanted him to make a palace, a very, you can say, a big palace, and with full of sketches and arts. So that's why he kept them in captivity in a separate island. So Daedalus, he actually wanted to escape along with his son. So he designed two sets of wings, created wings using wax and feathers. Okay, so wax and feathers were used to design two sets of wings. Two sets of wings, and they tied those wings over their back, and they tried to fly like you can say like birds. Daedalus actually warned his son Icarus. He advised him, or he warned him not to fly too close to the sun, as that wax will be getting melted. Similarly, he also told that don't fly, not to fly very near to the sea also, as due to the you can say wetness, humid climate over the sea, that wetness will come to you can say the wax, and wing will not be working properly. They tied on their hands those wings, and they tried to flap just like a bird. But Icarus was so much intoxicated with the pleasure of flying in air. He, you can say, he was flying, he started flying more and more high, thereby, due to the heat of the sun, or you can say temperature of the sun, the wax melted and he crashed to death. Icarus crashed to death. So these were also there. People, they tried, they used their mind. So that's why what actually science is, when we say that what actually science is, when we define what is science, science is a study of physical nature and surroundings. When we say that what actually is a science, definition of science means a study of physical nature and surroundings. And what actually is engineering? Engineering means using principles of science for designing machines, designing something to fulfill our need. Using principles of science for designing something to fulfill our needs. In present circumstances, we can say that it has become engineering science. Engineering science leads to innovation in present circumstances. Okay. This was the Lilienthal glider, and he conducted many successful flights, 2000 successful flights, and unfortunately he crashed to death in one of his own flight. These are the advancements which have taken place over the years. We can say in World War One, we saw this type of aircraft. You can say these are called biplanes, where two sets of wings were used, both right hand side and port and starboard side. We can say, and most of the, you can say, even wings, propeller, this is called propeller, were made of wood. Similarly, in World War II, we found a great advancement in technology. Metallic structures have come, and the shape of the aircraft, nose of the aircraft, it has changed drastically. And you can say now in this case, we can say much more advancement has taken place in aeronautical engineering, and we do have fighter aircrafts which can fly even at supersonic speed, which can fly at supersonic speed. Supersonic speed means when we compare the speed of an aircraft with speed of sound, which is called Mach number. So Mach, what is called Mach number? So Mach number is the, you can say, speed of object by speed of sound. So when the speed of object is compared with the speed of sound, it is called Mach. So when we say that 1 Mach, it means the object is flying with the speed of sound. And speed of sound also differs when we go up, or when the altitude increases. Speed of sound also differs, because speed of sound is depending on the temperature of the surrounding. So this is the formula for calculating speed of sound. Okay, where gamma is the ratio of specific heats, Cv, R is gas constant, and T is the temperature of the surrounding. So as the temperature reduces, temperature also reduces, pressure also reduces. When we go up in the air from the ground level, this is increasing altitude. So pressure also reduces, temperature also reduces. So if the temperature will reduce, the speed of sound will be more. Okay. So on ground especially, we do have some 330 meter per second speed of sound. Speed of sound on ground is 330 meter per second. Okay, so when the aircraft speed is compared with speed of sound, it is called Mach. And these type of aircraft which we said now, if the aircraft is flying at the speed of 1 Mach, it will be called as sonic speed. Sonic speed. When it is flying less than 1 Mach, it will be called as subsonic speed. Subsonic speed. Most of the transport aircrafts are flying at lesser than 1 Mach. And then if it is flying more than 1 Mach, greater than 1 Mach, it is called supersonic speed. There is another category also, which is if it is more than 3 Mach, it will be called as hypersonic speed. Hypersonic speed. So most of the rockets and all, they fly at hypersonic speed. So now in modern time, we have developed, the advancement of technology has taken to such extent where we do have even hypersonic aircrafts also, and most of the fighter aircrafts are flying at supersonic speed. Right, so thank you very much for joining with me, and in my next class we will have a clear concept of lift, how the lift is generated. on an aircraft. I will be talking in detail about Bernoulli's principle, and I will be talking in detail about various shapes of wings. I will be talking especially about the angle of attack, how it affects, and I will be talking about all the forces, especially about lift and drag, and weight and thrust also we will discuss. So, thank you very much once again.